Welcome back, viewers. We had the episode Jericho just released to Apple Plus today, and we finally learned, at least partially, what happened to baby Jericho. Now, it's a very emotional episode, and why don't we grab a cup of tea or something and let's talk it through. Before we cut to the main segment of today's video, let's look at Jericho at birth and Jericho reborn. Are they the same Jericho, or is the newborn Jericho the reincarnation of another child to this family by Leanne? When I saw the two pictures, I noticed something different about the noses, as the original Jericho had more of a flat nose. But keep in mind, kids growing up and a lot of changes in look can be expected. As we know, there was some time between the death of the original Jericho and the reborn Jericho. A young couple, Dorothy and Sean, was fortunate enough to have a healthy baby Jericho recently born to the family. But life just suddenly became that much more hectic. Sean, we know you may be the breadwinner of the house, but you're gonna have to help out whenever you can. For example, you may want to help carry stuff from the car into the house, so that Dorothy would just have to remember to carry Jericho out of the dangerously hot car. After all, you don't want anybody to mess up here, right? Sean, we know that you are a rising star in the chef circle. You are just invited to be a judge on a California cooking competition show. But do you really want to leave your precious weeks-old newborn behind with just Dorothy to care for? After all, we know Dorothy is not going to be jealous about you going on a trip and meeting all the new fun people, right? Or do we? Do you truly believe Dorothy, a busy working young professional, can survive taking care of a newborn with no help and no prior experience? And are we sure Dorothy would rather be home taking care of the newborn than enjoying all the attention and fame on TV? I think not. We are in the process of recruiting nanny, but I don't trust the young ones in my house, especially with Sean working from home all day. Hint, hint, said Dorothy to Julian. Now let's step back for a second. Didn't we hear a similar conversation between Sean and Dorothy in episode 1? Now it seems that they have switched role, because in episode 1, Sean is the one that's not comfortable of having a young girl in the house with him. Maybe something happened after the death of Jericho? We know the significance of this yellow piggy onesie. It was the outfit that Jericho originally wore to sleep, and certainly on the day when the tragic event happened. We also saw this onesie from a box in the basement where the Turners hid. Leanne came across it when she was playing hide and seek with another young girl, came visit with Wanda one day. On a hot summer day, with temperature over 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius. Dorothy came home from perhaps a shopping trip to the local supermarket with the first instinct to put away the grocery first. She forgot about Jericho in the car, who at the time appeared to be asleep. You know, with the air conditioning in a moving car, it's very easy for a baby to fall asleep. But Dorothy didn't go back to the car to get Jericho. She thought in her head that Jericho was somehow sound asleep in the crib. She even came in to the room to help set up the fan by the crib partway through the day. But wait, she didn't realize Jericho isn't in the room. Oh, Dorothy, how out of it are you? That you didn't even bother to check on your weeks-old baby until after sunset? Now, mind you, this is in the summer, so it must be like after 8:45 or something, because this setting is in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia specifically, and in that part of the country in the summer, the sun doesn't set until after 8:30, or it doesn't get completely dark after 8:30. And baby that old needs to be fed pretty frequently throughout the day, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Dorothy, what a bad mother you are. Then 10 p.m. that night, Dorothy, after having heard the baby crying for hours, decided to check on Jericho. OMG, the baby is not in the crib. I must have left him in the car. Oh, what have I done, and what am I gonna do? Dorothy almost is frozen in time. But she came downstairs slowly and proceeded to take Jericho out of the car. I felt very horrible for Dorothy, as I can only imagine how shocked you must be feeling at the time. But it must be a lot easier to just accept that nothing had happened, right? And just go about your regular routine like nothing has happened. For example, let's take a bath together with now the expressionless Jericho. As I assume this is how Dorothy was reacting at the time, that she refused to accept the fact that grave mistake has been made by her. And then total blackout or some other event that we don't fully appreciate at the moment. That we saw Sean was trying to get in contact with Dorothy for the airport pickup on Monday perhaps, but there was no response. Sean was very worried, and he called Julian subsequently to go into the house and check on her and the baby. Dorothy was reviewing Leanne's application letter. The letter reads, "My name is Leanne Grayson. I am 18 years of age and from a good, loving, and hard-working family in Madison Bridge, Wisconsin. I have not traveled far, but one day I would like to see the whole world." Then suddenly, baby noises are heard. In the baby monitor, Dorothy is very shocked and almost scared after hearing movement from the monitor, because subconsciously she knows her baby is gone. Is it a coincidence that after picking up Leanne's letter, this supernatural event just occurred? Then she went into the room, holding the baby monitor. Oh wait, it is not an illusion, as we clearly see the signal bar moves on the baby monitor. She is looking around the room, searching for the source of the sound. She opened the window, but she didn't find anything. She came back by the crib, but the baby noise is gone. Her heart now suddenly just sinked to the floor as she thought for a second that this whole tragic event can just go away like that, poof. Her body violently shakes. It is as if she went insane or some supernatural force just took over. In current time, 5 o'clock in the morning, Leanne surprised Dorothy by showing up this early by her bedside. She told Dorothy the car alarms has been going off for a half an hour now, and she can't seem to find the key. After a few conversations, Dorothy got up, and she mentioned it to Leanne that she noticed her been helping around the kitchen a lot with Mr. Turner recently, and she accuses Leanne of not spending enough time with Jericho. This really upsetted Leanne, as she knows it was her negligence that had caused Jericho's death in the first place. After some time, they both calmed down. Leanne offered to make Sean's cayenne pepper omelette breakfast for Dorothy. But wait, that's the thing Sean makes for Dorothy often during the time after her natural birth of Jericho. In fact, this may be one of the few things that actually stands out in Dorothy's memory about that time. Is Leanne deliberately trying to make her remember what had happened? Is she trying to turn her world upside down right now? While making the omelet, Leanne lied to Sean, claiming no actual cayenne pepper was put in the omelet. As Sean mentioned to Leanne, it would not sit well with Dorothy's stomach if she did. Sean holds Leanne's hand, showing her how to flip the omelet in pan. Leanne was surprised by the move as she blushed, but she knows she really enjoyed this physical contact inside. I can only imagine, had Dorothy witnessed this scene, she would probably be enraged of jealousy. Leanne brought breakfast to Dorothy. Mind you, this is not typically her task, as she is only paid for taking care of Jericho. She told Dorothy that she has put on some weight, but it's okay because people at your work will be expecting you to be carrying a little extra baby weight. Now, this is a subtle comment, but it did seem to have got to Dorothy's feeling. Later, Dorothy jumped in the car, but little did she know that Sean had left the case of seafood in the back seat to be taken to work that day. Seeing this brought back some of the memory of baby Jericho died in a hot car. she puked inside the car, also partially because of the cayenne pepper omelette that she had in the morning. Then, in the middle of the day, the car alarm gone off again. Dorothy has the key, but it doesn't seem to shut off. This is because Leanne kept setting it off upstairs with the other set of key. Dorothy was very embarrassed. Again, this very much brought back more part of that tragic event memory that she tried very hard to erase. Now, this conversation between Sean and Leanne, I thought it's the best part of this episode. Now, I warn you, it was also very emotional. And you'll be okay if you choose to skip it.
It's sharp. And then bitter.
This is ceviche. Dates back to the Incas. Cooked without heat. And all but physics, it's raw.
I don't like it.
Try again. I need to know why you don't like it.
Why did you stay with her? After what she did.
Because it was an accident. It was a mistake, and people make mistakes, Leanne. She stayed with him for 4 days, just the two of them, waiting for me to come home and help. If I'd been here, none of that would have happened. That was my mistake.
Tastes like bruised fruit. Like an apple that's been in the sun too long.
At the end of the same day, with almost the same sunset lighting in the room, as the day Dorothy realized that she had left Jericho in the hot car in the past time. After some struggle, Leanne told Dorothy off by telling her to do what's best for the baby. This is subtle, but I do mean she's telling Dorothy to stay away from Jericho and maybe to commit suicide altogether. This sets up perfectly for the next episode, the season finale, when we will expect to see some event happening as we know policemen will come to check on things in the house. Now, I hope my video made your viewing experience of the show just a little bit better. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you.